Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at this special 96 Impala. It belongs to my good friend Tim. We'll be going into the story behind it, why he got it, what's been done to it, future plans, and why it's so special.
My name's Tim. This is my 1996 Chevy Impala. Let me start from the very beginning. I got my driver's license in 1995, and that's a great time to get a driver's license, right? Especially in the Impala world. The Impala had been in production for a year. I had no idea what it was. I saw it, and I'm like, why does that cop car look so good, right? I had no idea what it was, right? But I instantly fell in love with it, and that was a 95, right? Then the 96 Impala came out, and then I fell even more in love, right? I was like that meme on the internet when the guy's walking with his girlfriend, and there's another girl here, and he's like looking back. That's how I felt about the 96 Chevy Impala. Unfortunately, the cars were brand new, and I was like 16, 17 years old. And I think that the window sticker on these, actually, I have a window sticker, but I think last time I looked at it, it was $26,000 or so. And I didn't have $26,000, so that was completely out of the realm of possibilities. As time started kind of going on a couple years, I started seeing more custom Impalas. And that was really cool. I was into custom cars already. It was the 2000s, right? It was the Fast and the Furious era. I was an import guy. I've had a bunch of different cars, imports, bag trucks, all kinds of stuff. And I just never made it back to an Impala SS. As far as I was concerned, they were just fairly rare. I wasn't on the Impala SS forums back then. I didn't know about the community. I didn't know about any of that. I just knew I liked the car. So obviously continued to be a fan as the years went by. A lot of different cars, a lot of different custom things. Got into air suspension, got into trucks, cars, all kinds of stuff. But I kept coming back to the Impala SS, right? I kept coming back as I got older. I'm like, man, that car's really great, and that's definitely a bucket list car for me. That's something that I absolutely have to own. So, in like 2001, I bought a Ford Ranger. Promised my parents I wouldn't do anything to it, right? Because it had been a long road of custom cars, both for me and them, right? So I promised them that I wasn't going to do anything to it. I started going to college, and I was driving back and forth to college and whatnot. And long story short, I ended up bagging that truck, right? So before it was bagged, I had just lowered it on a DJM suspension, and I was driving through a car show. And a guy named Will, who I didn't know real well. I'd known him from hanging out. It'd been a few years. I'd seen him in the parking lots. He was always a custom car guy, truck guy, car guy, had all kinds of cool stuff. And he built his own stuff, which was really cool. And I hear his voice from across the parking lot, and he says, "When are you going to lower that truck?" Right? As he's standing next to his Nissan 720 that he had just finished putting air suspension on, right? So I went over there and I talked to him, and this friendship kind of bloomed from that, just based around cars. And again, long story short, I ended up bagging that truck. He ended up bagging that truck, to be honest with you. So we remained friends for years and years and years. He moved up to Tennessee in 2005. I moved to Tennessee, kind of followed him in 2005. We did a lot of hanging out up there. He ended up moving back to Florida. Then a few years kind of go by, and he finds out he has cancer, right? So, oh gosh, sorry, man. I got to step out a second. So Will ended up moving back to Florida, and a few years later, unfortunately, he found out that he had cancer. So, fast forward, I mean, all the trials and tribulations that kind of come with that. He got to a point where he wasn't working anymore, right? And of course, I'm still in Tennessee, so and I'm talking. We talk all the time, obviously, and we were really close. We had been down here. Our families. My wife is best friends with his wife. And, we had been down here a bunch of times in between. So, in the meantime, I'm up in Tennessee, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like it's time to buy an Impala, right? I feel like Impala is a car I've always wanted to own. I'm at a point financially where I can buy one. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it, right? So I'm on the old interwebs, right? I'm flipping through, and I see an Impala, and it's down at it was a museum. It was a muscle car museum that used to be here in Charlotte County, Florida. And it's where Will lived, and Will wasn't working. So I called him up and I said, "Hey man, since you're not doing anything, why don't you run down to this muscle car museum and take a look at this Impala for me and climb around it and see what it is." And it was a 95. It was dark cherry metallic. Wasn't exactly what I wanted, but at this point, it's like 2017. So that, you gotta only be so picky and choosy when it comes to these cars. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll go check it out." So he goes down there and he checks it out and he climbs all over it. And he's like, "Yeah, he's got, it's got a little bit of rust here or there, this, that, the other. It came from up north, but bad news, the car's sold. So there's nothing that we can do about that." I'm like, "Oh, that's a bummer," right? So Unfortunately, Will passed away in 2018. So Will passed away in 2018. We made the decision to move back to Florida in 2019. So we moved back to Florida, still Impala-less, right? Still haven't bought an Impala, haven't found anything that I liked, and I honestly, I wasn't, with everything happening, I wasn't really looking that hard for them. So it's 2019. I'll never forget this. I bought a bag truck and out of I want to say it was out of Kissimmee or somewhere up in Central Florida, and I had that for a few months. Took it to Slam Fest Big Show down here in Florida. It was just steady working on that. It was an '01. It was extended cab, 5.3, decent truck. It was all primer. It was bagged on center lines, and I was just kind of working on that and fixing that up. And one day we're in Punta Gorda and we're driving through Punta Gorda, Florida. We're driving down 41, the main drag, and we were going to Fort Myers or going to do something else. And I happened to glance over and I saw this car sitting on a used car lot, right? And I'm like, oh shit, there's a black Impala sitting over there. Let me go over. Let's go over and take a look at it, right? So I wasn't paying attention to where it was at. So I busted a U and I go back to the car dealership. And funny thing about the car dealership, the car dealership that this car was at, it was an independent dealership, and it's where Will worked before he stopped working, right? So I already had an idea of the dealership and stuff. And I get out and I look at the car, and it's obviously a stock, pretty stock 96 Chevy Impala, had the stock wheels on it, stock suspension, all that. Same paint, same everything. It looked pretty decent, right? I crawl around it a little bit. It's got an aftermarket exhaust, which turned out to be an original stainless Borla exhaust. And that was the only thing that was done to the car, and it looked really great. I go in and I talk to the salesman, and I'm like, hey, what about this Impala? And he tells me all about it. They wanted like $12,000 for it, and whatever it was at the time in 2019. So I call my wife. I'm like, listen, here's the deal, right? I'm driving down the road and I look over at the dealership where Will worked for the same company that Will worked at, and this black Impala is sitting on the corner, right? I feel like that's a sign I have to buy that car. And she agreed. She said, absolutely, you have to buy that car. So I go back and I talk to the salesman, and I tell him the whole story. I tell him the whole story about Will and all that stuff. And he knows Will, of course, because Will worked there. And he's like, you know what? Let me call the owner of the company or his manager or whatever. He calls him, and he said, and he comes back and he says, obviously the car's special to you. He's like, we'll sell it to you what we have in it. We got it from an estate sale. The good gentleman that owned it before passed away. So we will sell it to you. It was like $9,500 is what they had in it. So that's what I ended up paying for the car. I paid $9,500. It was, like I said, a fairly stock Impala SS. Had a trunk full of goodies from the years, right? Impala, the guy, whoever owned it before, was obviously, he was part of the forums as well. There was a bra, there were headlight covers, the smooth caps that people love or hate on the Impala wheels, all kinds of extra stuff, little toy cars and paperwork and all the service records and all of that. So that's the story of how the car came to be. All right, so the car itself, it started life when I bought it in 2019. I said probably what a lot of you said when you bought your Impalas, right? I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to drive it, right? You love it the way it looks. I'm not going to do anything to it. That's exactly what I said. Unfortunately, I'm not built like that, or fortunately, I'm not built like that, right? The car looks great now. So overall, the car aesthetically from the outside isn't changed much from what it was when I got it. I haven't done. There's no crazy mods. There's nothing crazy on the outside. I think the only mods that the car actually has outside of the factory is it has a red bow tie, which is pretty popular. I did that. It had the original chrome bow tie on it when I bought it. And then the original depot clear corners, right? And some people love them, some people hate them. They were on the car when I got it. So the car had a catback stainless Borla exhaust, and it had these depot corner lights on it. That's how I saw it sitting there. And I like the amber lights too, but the original depot corners are cool. You know, kind of an original, one of the things that I think everybody did back in the day. Other than that, the outside remains pretty much how it was when I bought it. I did have to repaint the mirrors. The car doesn't have the best paint on it. It could stand to be repainted probably. I was just talking to a dent guy today at Cars and Coffee about coming out and just fixing some of the dings and dents that it has, just smoothing everything back out. After that, I'll probably have somebody come out and maybe do a paint correction, see what we can save and what can't be saved, and then make the decision as far as whether I'm going to repaint the entire car. Overall, the car is it's driver quality. It shows really well 5 feet away, I would say. It looks pretty decent overall. A couple other things. This emblem is obviously the newer style emblem for you purists, whether you've noticed that or not. The one that I had on there, the guy that owned the car before me, I don't know, the emblems, whether he had to repaint the sales section or I don't know what happened, but the original emblems were super glued on. So everything was covered in super glue. It had super glue runs down the side. It was a little goofy, but I found those are fairly inexpensive. They come with the 3M tape already on them, and they look kind of cool. They're a little bit more modern. Some people love them, some people hate them. Overall, the rest of the car is exactly as it should be. Obviously, this car is sitting a lot lower than what a stock car does. This car's on full air ride. Air ride's just something that I did last year. So it had made it, well, I guess in 2019 when I bought it, I said I wasn't gonna do anything to it. And then I was like, that car sits up too high for me. I gotta lower it, right? So I started looking through different things to lower it, and I ended up with a Beltec muscle car kit with Beltec springs, Beltec shocks, all of that. That brought it down. For those of you that are experienced with lowering these cars, that brought it down 2 inches on this side and probably 2 1/4 inches on this side. It kind of a lean to it. But it lived that way for years and years and years. I just bagged it last year. So when it comes to the suspension, what's done to the suspension and what it takes to get the car to sit like this, the car sits all the way down in the front. The engine cross member lays on the concrete. So it's all the way down. It's got 2.5-inch Beltec drop spindles, and it's got airbag. It's got Slam Specialty airbags and airbag brackets from ABS. So that's what it took to do the front. All right, and then the back is bagged. Nothing's really cut in the back of it. I didn't notch the frame or anything. Some of you will say the car could be a little bit lower in the back, right? I hear that from my friends all the time. They're like, yeah, it could be a little bit lower in the back. So I could notch it and kind of get it down a little bit more. And I may do that in the future when I look at it, and say the car's not low enough. So, but for the time being, it's just got regular bag mounts from ABS and Slam Specialty airbags and the original Beltec shocks that I had on it from the lowering kit. So all of that worked out really good. The air management stuff you'll see in the trunk, it's an Airlift 3P, pretty standard. I think a couple Vire tanks, couple Vire compressors, pretty basic setup overall. The wheels are Weld Racing Venturas. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Weld Racing Venturas, it's a square setup, it's 20x8. The 20x8s, I don't mind. I really wanted to do the 20x8s in the front and the 20x10.5s or 20x11s in the back maybe. I had the 20x11s on the back, but they hit too much of the lip. I could have kept them, but because of the constant articulation of the air suspension, I wanted to make sure that I had like a finger space in between the fender and the wheel, and the 8s kind of fit that bill. And those wheels already have a very deep lip on them, even for an 8-inch wheel. The offset's really good, so I don't think it's too impactful. Plus, I can rotate the tires if I need to. I drive this car a lot, so I have that opportunity to do that. The brakes, you might be able to see through the wheels. The brakes are a full power stop kit. I did the rotors and the calipers. I did the stainless steel brake lines. As well as the bias kit in the master cylinder. And I guess that's it for the brakes. Brakes work great on this car, they're fantastic. Car still has ABS. It does have a full BMR sway bars front and rear, which kind of help the handling out, especially on the air ride. This car actually rides better than probably any other car that I've had. I've had a lot of trucks and a couple cars with air ride, but this car rides probably better and handles better than any of those cars out there. It does not have shocks on the front, which might sound a little bit crazy to the people that are shock purists, but I drove it without the shocks, with the sway bars and the Slam Specialty bags. It handles very well. It does not bounce a lot. It doesn't even really float. It corners well. It does everything it's supposed to do. So I didn't really worry about fabricating the front shock mounts. Not yet anyway. Maybe something in the future. Yeah, so under the hood of this car, I mean, there's not a lot done to there's nothing done to the engine internally. Most of the stuff you can see as part of the, you'll see in part of the videos. It's got clear image long tube headers on it. Originally, I did the long tube headers. I did the cat deletes and a full cat back exhaust. running the SpinTech mufflers. I forget which SpinTech mufflers they are. To be fair, I told Dan I wanted it to be as rowdy as possible, and he hooked that up. And then once I got everything together, it was way too rowdy for me. So I took the SpinTechs off, and I ended up going with a Borla XS muffler with the turndowns. Because of the air ride, I didn't want to mess with exhaust pipes going over the rear axle. I wanted to do a turn down, and the SpinTech mufflers with turn downs are just too loud, right? You can ask Ray. He put them on his car. He hated it. That's the way that works. So. Overall, so that's the exhaust as it is today with the clear image long tube headers, cat delete pipes, 2.5 inches all the way back, Borla XS mufflers, and turn downs. Outside of that, it obviously has a Spectra intake on it. So it's got the intake tube with the filter and the cool air little wall thing there. And then the computer's been reprogrammed. I didn't reprogram the computer; it was already done. When I got the car, I noticed the sticker on it, and I noticed that it was shifting really good. So that was a good indicator that the computer had been ran through and reprogrammed. I think it was a PCMs for Less that did that originally. So that's still done. You can see it's got the Bono hoses. Bono hoses I bought after, probably like many of you, had an incident on the highway with that little plastic reducer fitting on the heater hose. That'll really ruin your day. So if you still have those, you might want to change that out for either brass or get some of these Bono hoses, one of the two. It's got the integrated T-hose with the coolant reservoir and the heater hose and all that, so it's pretty cool. When I bought this car, I didn't mention it had 115,000 miles, right? So it had been previously loved, right? And it's only got 121,000 miles on it now. So it's not my main mode of transportation. Honestly, I drive it whenever I can, but that doesn't equal a lot of miles. So I put about 6,000 miles on it. It's been pretty much trouble-free as that goes. Overall, I got you can see the engine cover, the dipstick, the map sensor. I got from Rob Perez on a deal on the Impala SS forum page on Facebook. Oh, and the hood liner. Right, I didn't even mention the hood liner. You guys saw the hood liner in a previous video. Obviously, me and Ray changing this hood liner. So the hood liner is fantastic. The material is really, really cool. Decals come in all different colors. I got silver, which turned out to be a happy choice, right? Yeah, so, yep. So this, yep. Stickers. I heat cycled it a few times after we installed it, and it's been just perfect. Okay, so that's everything under the hood. Yeah, so for the interior of this car, I like to keep. I've always wanted to keep it kind of close to what it was. The carpet when I got it was a little bit trashed, so I did replace the carpet. I used an all black carpet kit. It was a fairly inexpensive kit. I think maybe from eBay. I think it turned out to be an ACC kit or something like that. Kind of a pain in the butt to install. You have to kind of cut it to fit and mold it around and try to heat it up and move some things. It still doesn't fit perfect. I'm not super stoked about the way that the carpet fits, but it is the carpet, and I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it most of the time. So I changed the carpet. I did get, I got floor mats. I got the two-piece floor mats for the front. I got the floor mat that runs all the way across in the back. I believe those are from Chris Lopez. So, and that was years ago. It's one of the first things I did when I changed the carpet out. Overall, it had the Impala SS billet window sills on there. I haven't even seen these. I've seen them in black. I know that Ray got some for his car from Etchus. I'm not sure where these came from. I haven't seen the full billet versions in a while, but I got those in front and back. I've got the door pulls, the billet door pulls, as well as the door savers, which are pretty popular. Those look really good. I've got the billet steering wheel and billet adapter. Both of those came from Amazon, I think. No issues there. Ray walked me through how to do the airbag mod to keep the airbag light off using a resistor. That's true. That's true. I used one of his videos. My dash is actually in really good shape, right? So the upper part, the bottom part, not without its issues, right? I've obviously had to glue some tabs back on and move some things around, but as it sits right now, it creaks and it rattles a little bit, but it is all in one piece. So that works out really good. I've got a regular head unit, so no double din yet. I am thinking the more I drive this car, I start kind of thinking about the creature comforts. I was just talking to my wife about putting a stereo in it and doing a sub box in the back. This is an Alpine single din head unit, which I thought was kind of fitting for it, right? Doing an Alpine single din unit. Period correct. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I got some billet knobs on order from Mike Lopez, not sponsored. So those will hopefully be in a few weeks. I have a broken temperature knob that drives me crazy, especially right now where it's Florida and sometimes it's cold and sometimes it's hot. So that works out. I got to switch knobs around. You guys probably live that life sometimes. This car, when I got it as well, it had a GTE car phone installed in it. So it still does. I couldn't take it out, right? So when I was redoing the carpet stuff, I had it out. I'm like, I got to put that thing back in because it's so, again, period correct. It's such a big deal, and everybody like hoops and hollers about it when they see it. I think a couple people on the forums have them as well in their cars. I always said it'd be really cool if we could get the air ride hooked up to it so I could actually use the buttons and stuff. And I think that's probably possible, but it is a lot of work. So nothing I've done yet. You can see the airlift controller for the 3P. That is on a custom magnetic cell phone holder that just kind of keeps it elevated and tilted up inside the opening of the center console. I do have an additional emblem on my console, an SS emblem. I thought was fairly fitting. Not that I have any shortage of logos inside this car. They're everywhere. There is no there is no missing that this car is a super sport. I've got the Adrian Rogers console cover. It's a funny story. My car did not have the change thing in it, but I saw somewhere that a guy was so picky about his change holder that every piece, every quarter, every nickel, every dime that he had was from 1996, and I thought that was a little goofy, but I'm like, it is kind of cool. So I ordered a change holder in case I come across 1996 coins. I can slap them in there. So that's pretty much it for the interior. I mean, the interior works really well in this car. I really like the way that I like the way the seats are. I like the way everything feels. Everything is pretty functional for the most part. There's some fit and finish things that kind of bug me a little bit, and some rattles up underneath the dash. I think we could probably use some Dynamat or some belt tape or things like that just to quiet it down. So maybe something like that for the future. But overall, I want to get the seatbelt covers for the that sit up here, the billet seatbelt covers. And now I really want. Ray called me when you guys saw the video on his cargo lights, and he called me. He's like, "Do you have billet cargo lights in your car?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm gonna go look." And I go out here and look. I'm like, I've never even noticed those cargo lights before, but they have the cargo lights with the integrated clothes hanger hook on them and all that stuff. Yeah, and those are pretty cool. Then I saw his video, and then it's like engraved out of there with the LED light behind it. So when they light up, I mean, the light output isn't great, but the logos light up, which is really cool. So I'm like, oh, now I got to buy those things for sure. Ray's actually helped me through a lot of different things with this car through the years, whether he's known it or not. Probably just like he's helped you. I do need to. My seat is rocking a little bit, my driver's seat, so I need to go back to Ray's video on that. And I have the little pieces already I ordered. I've had them for like a year. I just have to pull the seat out and fix those. So let's go back to the trunk and check it out and show you the stuff that's back there and go from there. All right, so for the trunk, I wanted to keep things super simple and super functional, right? I mentioned that I do like to drive the car. We go to some out-of-town shows, and I drive the car to those. It's important to me that everything is like easily accessible and easy to work on. So you guys will see the two, I think they're maybe 2.5 gallon tanks on either side with the compressors mounted to the top. Again, I looked at my friend Ray here for that inspiration. He had air ride on his car, and he used a very similar setup left to right. And I wanted to keep the center of the trunk open so I could put stuff back here, or chairs or tents or whatever I had to do to travel with. You'll notice that there's a factory spare back there. That spare is powder coated chrome. Some of you guys may have seen my post on the Impala SS forum page on Facebook when I got that done. The chrome has hazed a little bit. It's not perfect. It's really more chrome powder coat's really more of like a high performance polish kind of look. I had a brand new chrome cap from eBay to match up there. And I know that tire looks really skinny, but I only had so much room, because if you get down and you look to the back, you can see the airlift valve block is back there. So there was only so much room that I could use, and because it was just a spare, I figured I'd just put a little tire on there and it wouldn't be a big deal. Hopefully, knock on wood, I'll never have to use it. You can see the water separated for the airlift. The water separator for the airlift kit is mounted right there.
So big thanks for Tim for sharing this incredible story with us about his car and everything that comes with it. If you guys have any questions for Tim, just leave them down in the comments. He watches the videos. I'm pretty sure he'll answer them for you. He's a really great guy, tons of knowledge in Impalas and Corvettes. I mean, he's a superstar on the Corvette forums. Again, I thank you guys for watching. Now, if you're in the Florida area and you want me to do a piece like this on your car, shoot me an email. I will travel, you know, as long as there's snacks provided. But yeah, you guys asked, and so I delivered. Look out for some more videos. We got some more stuff coming up from Etchus. Again, Etchus is the official sponsor of my channel. Some people had asked, and I forgot to mention it in the previous video, the discount code is OTG. And I believe that gives you 5% off any Etchus merchandise on their website. I got some more stuff coming next week. We got some really cool stuff coming for my Impala. But again, I'm going to keep pumping out the Impala content because that's what you guys want to see. And again, thanks to Tim. He's been so great. Awesome friend since I moved down here. Let me use his lift and giving me those obnoxiously loud mufflers that he told you guys about. And, you know, I definitely want to showcase his car and tell you guys about it and everything like that. And it worked out perfectly. So I'll see you guys in the next one.